Unit 2, Look Both Ways test. If at any point of this video you need to pause or rewind, you can do so. Part 1, Knowledge of the novel. Do your best to answer these questions based on your understanding of the novel, Look Both Ways. Number 1, who begins the book by picking their nose? A, Jasmine, B, TJ, C, Fatima, D, Bit. Number 2, what are the low cuts famous for? A, being very studious. B, being class clowns. C, stealing pocket change. D, loving ice cream. Number 3, which of the following people have a story featuring them as a main character in the book? Choose 2. A, Benny. B, Pia Foster. C, Fatima Moss. D, Marcus Bradford. Number 4, which of the following statements is the best summary of the main conflict in Call of Duty? A, Bryson Willis doesn't want to go to school and his mom makes him go. B, Bryson Willis and Ty Carson argue over who is better at video games. C, Bryson Willis stands up for Ty Carson and faces bullying because of it. D, Bryson Willis isn't sure if he wants to be friends with Ty Carson anymore. Read the following 2 excerpts from Look Both Ways below. Excerpt 1, from Water Booger Bears. But for the most part, it hadn't given Jasmine any real problems. A little pain sometimes, but nothing too bad until this year, when she went into a full-on crisis and her body became ablaze. At least that's what it felt like. Her hands and feet swelled like plastic gloves full of water, heavy and tight, ready to burst. Her muscles felt like they become wood, and she'd imagine her bones were splintering and growing bones of their own. Excerpt 2, from Call of Duty. But still, Ty felt like his classmates were following him, not stalking him, peeping around corners and things like that. No, but more like looking away whenever he catched their eyes, or cutting their conversations whenever he walked by, like he was some kind of human mute button. Made him paranoid. Number 5, based on these excerpts, what is true about figurative language? B, figurative language can help readers understand how the characters like Jasmine and Ty feel. C, metaphors are the most common kind of figurative language Jason Reynolds uses. D, figurative language is the most important literary device to analyze and look both ways. 6, which statement best represents Jason Reynolds' overall message in his story, How to Look Both Ways? A, it is important to take risks and connect with others. B, it is always important to be aware of your surroundings. C, you can learn a lot by being observant and taking notes. D, we can all become musicians. It just takes patience and practice to learn the song. Number 7, which of the following best explains why characters from one story in Look Both Ways sometimes make guest appearances in other stories? A, because all of the characters in the stories are good friends, it makes sense that they will show up in different stories. B, because all of the stories are about the same characters, it makes sense that the same characters would keep reappearing. C, because all of the characters have a lot of conflict with each other, it makes sense that the author would use the stories to resolve these problems. D, because all of the stories are connected by the neighborhood setting, it is nice to have characters make small appearances just as they might in a real neighborhood. Number 8, which of the following statements best describes Jason Reynolds' message about young people in his book, Look Both Ways? A, Young people are all incredibly kind to their parents. B, young people are really good about standing up to bullies. C, young people always plan out the way they walk home from school. D, young people are all different. You can't rely on stereotypes to explain them. Okay, we are moving into an open-ended response question. You may use your book only for the open response questions. Number 9. In How to Look Both Ways and Skitter Hitter, the characters Fatima and Stevie both learn lessons. What lessons do Fatima and Stevie learn? What do these lessons have in common? Write a complete, powerful paragraph. You may pause the video at this time. Okay. Read the passage below, then answer the questions that follow. The following excerpt is from Jason Reynolds' Look Both Ways story, How a Boy Can Become a Grease Fire. Excerpt from chapter 9, How a Boy Can Become a Grease Fire. Gregory Pritt's friends loved him so much that they told him the truth. And the truth was, he smelled dead, like rotten. It wasn't that he was rotten, but just that he smelled like his body had mistaken his organs for garbage and that he was essentially a walking, talking trash can. And on this, out of all days, that smell just wasn't going to cut it. So in an act of service and sheer desperation, Ramar Vo, Joey Santiago, and Cadence Green, Gregory's crew, decided to help him out because today was a day of romance. Before we get going, you sure you good, Candace? Joey asked. I heard what happened to Bryson. Bryson was Candace's cousin. He got jumped the day before. Yeah, it's cool. Bry's a tough kid, said Candace. Plus, we were walking that way, so as soon as we got done with Loverboy, I'm going to stop by and see him. You got the stuff right, Candace asked Remy. You know it. What is it? And why y'all talking about it like it's... Gregory caught himself. Know what? It don't even matter, long as it works. Oh, it'll work, Joey said, bouncing his eyebrows. Remy dug around his backpack and pulled out a can of body spray. Now, Justin gets this stuff from the gas station. He says it's basically deodorant for your whole body. Justin was Remy's older brother, and he was always, let Remy tell it, he popped the top off the canister. Close your eyes. And then he sprayed Gregory from the top of his head to the bottom of his feet. A spritz or two even got in his mouth, sending Gregory gagging and coughing. Hold still, Candace ordered, while Remy spun Gregory around and sprayed all down his back. It smelled like a combination of burnt flowers and burnt rubber, but that was better than Gregory's normal smell, the smell of all-day funk. No spraying, Miss Walkley yelled, pointing at Gregory's and his friends. You know the rules. Go away if you want to spray. Miss Walkley's frustration came from the fact that there was always someone spraying something in the hallway. Always a perfume or cologne that was supposed to help but ended up taking stink up to stank. But that was a special case. Either way, Miss Walkley's outage was hilarious to Gregory, Remy, Joey, and Candace, so the four of them cracked all the way up. Go away if you want to spray, Candace repeated with a hoot. She's a poet and she don't even know it. A rapper that looks like a napper, Remy followed. A spitter is way too bitter, Joey came in third. All their jokes matched the corniness of Miss Walkley's non-joke, which made them laugh even harder. Gregory half choking because laugh plus spray equal choke. They started walking, but they weren't walking home like they normally did. They lived in the Southview apartments, but decided today that they will walk over to Rogers Street because that's where Sandra White lived. Gregory had been trying to work up the courage to tell her that he liked her and wanted to know if maybe they could be boyfriend and girlfriend, even though he hated the way that sounded. Sounded trash. Together is what he preferred to call it. He had told Remy, Joey, and Candace that he wanted to do this, and they were in full support and along for the ride. Not to mention, Candace was the only one who knew where Sandra lived. She and Sandra were closer when they were younger, but they were still cool. Even though they were all in support of Gregory shooting his shot, they also told him he needed to prepare. He needed to make sure he was ready and to put his best foot forward, first and foremost. He needed not to smell like a forward foot. He needed to smell better than a lunchroom, better than a locker room. Yeah, so I just hit you with the ooh, and now you're ready for so la la, Remy said. He was always saying corny stuff like that, mainly because he swore he was some kind of mastermind when it came to approaching girls, thanks to Justin. Even though Candace told him every chance she got, he wasn't. I think you hit him with too much ooh, like smells more like ew, Candace joked, curling her top lip under her nostrils. But it was better than before. And since the smell part worked out, it was time for her to explain the importance of moisturizing. Now that you don't stink, we got to make sure you ain't dry. Candace pulled a bottle of lotion, the size of a shoe, out of her backpack. Gregory's eyes widened and his brows spurred, leaving him with a look of astonishment and fear. Number 10. What does paragraph 1 reveal about the characters? A. Gregory's friends are trying to help him. B. Gregory is struggling to be confident. C. Gregory's friends are cruel to him and rude. D. Joey has a crush on someone at school. Number 11. In paragraph 11, what does the phrase cracked all the way up help the reader infer? A. That kids are breaking into smaller group. B. That the group is annoyed with Miss Walkley. C. That the kids are upset by their teacher. D. That the kids are laughing extremely hard. Number 12. Which statement best describes Candace? A. She is bossy and rude to the other kids. B. She allows Remy to behave in a silly way. C. She often takes charge of what the group does. D. She is mean and makes the other kids afraid of her. Number 13. Which detail best expresses the conflict or problem in the story? A. And the truth was, he smelled dead, like rotten. Paragraph 1. B. No spraying, Miss Walkley yelled, pointing at Gregory and his friends. Paragraph 11. C. Gregory had been trying to work up the courage to tell her that he liked her and wanted to know if maybe they could be boyfriend and girlfriend. Paragraph 16. D. Now that you don't stink, we got to make sure you ain't dry. Paragraph 20. Number 14. Open-ended response. Describe the relationship between Gregory and his friends. Write a complete, powerful paragraph. Okay, at this time, you can either you need to work on your paragraph. After you finish your paragraph, if you need to rewind or go back to any questions in the video, you can do so.